Halftime sounds like this. So the way to do this is we have just our original melody here that sounds like this. So we're going to duplicate this, and then we're going to stretch this one out twice so it's double its original length, and then I can just chop this at the end for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pitch it down -12 semitones, so that's -1 octave. And then what I like to do as well is just add a bit of an EQ, just cutting out some of those lows that pitching it down can kind of add. And I do this to around like, yeah, 100 to 150 hertz, just cutting out those real kind of subby low end. And then you just blend them in to get, wait, let me turn the original one off. Then you just blend them into your desired taste, and that's it. Haunting Melodies sounds like this. So the way we do it is I have this initial melody that just sounds like this. So what we want to do is we want to what am I doing? We want to duplicate that, and then we want to go ahead and reverse it. Then we want to add a reverb. We want to set the decay to be about like 8 seconds or so, and then 100% wet. Then we're going to freeze and flatten or bounce in place that new track. Then I'm just going to stretch this out a bit, and then we reverse it one more time. Line it up to where we want it to be. Let me just close this one to not confuse you. Line you up with where you want it to be, and then we're going to pitch this down -12 semitones, so -1 octave down. Add an EQ lastly, and we're going to set this as a bound pass between like 200 and then 3k hertz. And that's it. Now you get this. Ambitextures sounds like this. Perfect for a nice little theme you can put in the background of your tracks, just for some nice texture and stuff like that. So to do it, you just want to take a really simple chord, like I've just got this here. And you want to add a big reverb to it. So we're going to grab the reverb. Oh, what am I doing? To grab the reverb, drop it on there, put the decay all the way up to 60 seconds and the dry wet all the way up to 100%. Then freeze and flatten that track, bounce track in place. Then what we want to do is we want to remove kind of the initial chord sound you hear at the start, like. So we're just going to chop off a little bit at the start there, line it up, and also going to get rid of just like any of like the quiet parts and stuff like that. And then lastly, we're just going to add an EQ to do a bit of a band pass to it. So I'm grabbing EQ 8. I'm going to set this to go between like 400 to 500 hertz and then 1,500-ish. Oh, 1,500-ish of odd hertz. And then we get this. Bass booster sounds like this. So before, it sounded like this. So the way we want to do this, super simple. So you want to just go ahead and open up a new return track, a new aux track, a new bus, whatever you want to call it. And on this new return track, we're going to start with an EQ that we're going to set to about 100 hertz of a low pass filter. So we're just clearing out that real low end there. And then you want to grab any sort of saturator plugin you like to use. I like to use the Decapitator for this. And I'm just basically going to have this boosted all the way. So drive all the way up, wet mix all the way up. I also like this end preset, but this is one of those things, whatever saturator you use, you'll just find a specific setting that works best for you. But boosted, as is in the name, I've got it all boosted up. And then what we want to do lastly is then blend this. I can get rid of this one. This was the original one. We then want to blend our bass into that. So you'll see what happens as I'm blending it in. You're getting a real boost there. Layers sounds like this. So let me mute that for now. So you want to take your melody. So I've just got this really simple melody, and it helps to have a simpler melody for this, and I'll explain why in the next step. But mine just sounds like this. So what you want to do is duplicate that. I can get rid of this second half there as well. And then basically every single note you want to reverse. So this is why having it simple is good. So you can hear here, I'm hitting a note every quarter note. So I want to go through and just reverse every quarter note. So it's reversing each one of those melody note hits. And if anyone knows a shortcut to do this quicker, I would genuinely love to know. And then once you've done that, you want to go ahead and just add fade-ins into all of them. And I'm going to skip that bit in this video because I don't want to bore you to death with that. I don't want to bore you to death with that. Then once you've done all that, what you want to do is you want to highlight all of them and consolidate them together. So they're now just one piece of audio. Then we want to pitch it up plus 12 semitones. So that's up 1 octave. And if you are on Ableton, I like to kind of have the formants here on Complex Pro around like here, but get creative, do what you want with it. Then we just want to stretch it out twice so it's double its length. So you can see now why I deleted that second half. And that's it. And now it sounds like this. RevCrush sounds like this. So to do this, what you want to do is, so I've got this original melody that sounds like this. So I'm just going to duplicate that for now. I can mute this one. And then what you want to go through is just go through and just reverse random parts of it. So just like you can see here, just reverse these random parts. I'm just going to kind of copy what I've already done like that. Just like that. Then what you want to do is you want to grab a bit crusher. So Redux is the Ableton one. We want to set the dry wet to about 50%. And then I have the rate here around like 11K hertz. But depending on the sound you're using, you'll want to play around with this. So I'm just going to set it to 11K hertz. And then what you want to do is where you've got the reverse sections, we want to automate our bit crushing to turn on and off. So, oh, what am I doing there? So have it turn on there. I reverse it there. And then I reversed it here, I think. And then again here. And then again here. And then that's it. And here's what it sounds like. Couple clicks there I just get rid of with some little fades, but that's it. Simples sounds like this. So I'll get rid of that one. So this is the original melody here. So what we want to do is we want to duplicate that melody and then we're going to pitch it up plus 12 semitones. Now on Ableton, I like to also just change this to Complex Pro and then play around with the formats a bit. Around 50 here sounds nice with this. And then all you want to do is just move it back a measure like that. And that's what creates that nice kind of, you know, it kind of makes it more bouncy, sort of. And that's it. And now you get this. So the layer sounds like this. Talking synth sounds like this. So the way we want to do this, let me go to this auto filter because that's what's doing the effect, is you want to just have a synth. Our synth is just... And then our vocal as well, you need a vocal as well, which ours is just... So what we want to do is you want to grab an auto filter and drop that onto your synth track. Then we want to open up our sidechaining and sidechain it to our vocal. And then I also like to boost the sidechain gain a bit as well. This completely depends on your track you're working on. Then we want to change this to be onto the vowel, bring the pitch all the way down minus 36 semitones, morph to 100%, envelope to 100%, and there it is. Big bass sounds like this. Packs in my rap from the block to the back with my... So originally it was this. So what I did, what you want to do is you want to go into your envelopes here, and you can do this if you're not in Ableton, just use a pitch shifter. We want to go to our clip, transposition, and then we've got this here. You see it going down minus 12 semitones, which is 1 octave, in this really kind of strong curve here as well. And I'm doing that for each of the bass notes. So it's now just, you see how it's going down. Then you want to add some like saturation, something aggressive. I'm just using my Rumble plugin here. A little bit of a low end boost, no mid boost, a little bit of a higher boost, just something like that, just to get it kind of in your face. And then after that, so this is what it's like before without that on. And then we add this. And that's it.
Packs in my rap from the block to the back. When my batch moving mad, keep it in close, got on tap from the
Distortion Fun sounds like this. You can hear it's like a really aggressive distortion, really cool. So let me just mute the stuff that's doing it. So this is what it sounds like before. You can hear it's a big amount of, you know, distortion going on. So let's just duplicate this and then we'll delete these because we'll add them back now. So what you want to do first of all is you want to add a delay. And we're going to set that on to 3, so it's on a triplet. And I think I had it at, 0% feedback and about 35% wet. And then we want to go ahead and I use one knob driver for this, I believe it's called. Just any kind of saturation distortion plugin you have, add some of that, and then just crank it a little bit. I think I had it quite high in this. Yeah, I had it cranked all the way up. And then a last step for this, because of this distortion you're adding, it's going to make it quite loud. So you'd want to go in and just make sure you just adjust your volume a bit or however you do that. And that's it. And this is Distortion Fun. Chops sounds like this. So what this is doing is it's creating like a new chopped version of your song from your song, which is, I've got this little 8-bar loop that's this. So what you want to do is on a new audio track, you can set this to resampling. If you're not able to, you can also just duplicate the group like this and do freeze bounce group in place. I'm just going to do that now because it's just a lot quicker, but you can just do resampling. It's basically pretty much the exact same thing. It's taking a second. There we go. Now we've got that. What you want to do now is you want, I can delete all that there. What you want to do now is you want to take this, right click, slice to new MIDI track, or however you do that. Half note's fine. Okay. I'm then going to go and pitch it down. How much did I pitch it down? About 12 semitones. And then I also adjusted the attack about 120 milliseconds or so, just to kind of give it a bit more of a floating vibe. And then once you've done that, I can delete that. Now on your keyboard, you can just play in a new melody, and that's what I've done here. LFO Synth sounds like this. So the way we do this, let's get rid of all this stuff here. This is what my synth sounded like before. So we want to grab an EQ and we want to set this onto a low pass filter. Then we want to go ahead and just grab our LFO. Where's my LFO? Here we go. We want to map the LFO to the frequency of our low pass filter. Change this to 0 to 100. So it's just going from, as you can see, it's going from 0 to 100. We're going to change this to sync rate and I'm going to put it onto a quarter note. And then I'm going to bring the smoothing up. 100% smooth. And then what we want to do is we want to automate. I have the book over here, as I probably said already. It helps me remember all this stuff. There's 100 tricks. It's hard to remember everything. We want to automate the depth right here to go from 0 all the way up to 100. And then we want to automate the offset to go from -50. Got a big one here. -50. We're going to find it in a second. -50 all the way to 100%. Well, right up there. Wait, is that on 100? Yep, 100. There we go. And that's it. One, two, three, four sounds like this. Really cool, that trippy, fucked up melody. So to do this, what we want to do is you want to take just a like eighth note or quarter note pluck, hence kind of the name 1, 2, 3, 4. For us, we've just got this here. Then we want to go ahead and we want to duplicate that. And on this duplicate, we want to add a reverb, or decay all the way up, wet all the way to 100%. And then we're going to bounce this track in place so we get the audio. Then just delete these start and end there. And then we'll bring the volume down of that as well because of obviously how loud it's going to be now with all that reverb. And then on a new audio track, we're going to set this to resample. Just these two here, so our original pluck and then the one with the reverb on it. Oops, I'm recording the bass. And then now we've got that, what we want to do is, this is why I said having the quarter note or the eighth notes helps, because we want to reverse this wherever a note hits. So like there, 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 there. And I'm just going to skip this bit of the video. Actually, do you know what I'll do? Because it's just playing the same note, I'm going to cheat. I'm just going to copy the first 4 notes because they're all the same notes. Now, once we've done that, what you want to do is you want to grab just like a random measure. Like I'm just going to grab this here. And then you just want to paste that to like random places, just like this. Just wherever you want to do, really. Get silly with it, get creative with it. And then that creates us the cool 1, 2, 3, 4 style effect. That sounds like this. Oh, and put the bass on. So you see how there you can just create so many different patterns and it's just super cool to do. Vibes sounds like this. So what we've done here is, I'll just bring these down and mute them for now, is so I've got just a melody that is just this. So what we want to do is duplicate this twice and then reverse both of these midis. Then we want to add a delay onto the first one that we're going to set to a quarter note, 50% feedback, and then 100% wet. And then we're going to copy that onto our second duplicate and we're going to change this to a third note here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to freeze and flatten, bounce in place both of those. And I'm just going to spread those out there. Can delete this at the end here. Then we're going to reverse both of these back and then line them up with our original, which I believe should be like this. Nope, not there. This is where it should be. Then what we want to do is we want to add a bandpass filter to both of those. And we want to set it to go between about 100 and 3K hertz, just like that. And I'm going to set, 3K, I'm going to set that on both of them. And that's it. Now we've got vibe. Melody trip sounds like this. Super cool, super nice and ambient. So to do this, what we have is you just want to take your melody. So my melody is just, oh, let me turn off the effects that I need you to add. So a melody that's just this. And for the effects, you want to add a high pass filter around 1.5K hertz. Then we want to add some chorus that's just 100% basically. And then a reverb that's sitting around a 14-second decay time, sorry, and 100% wet. Then we're just going to go ahead. We're just going to bounce that track in place. So we've now got the audio. And then we can delete this. We want to take this and we want to stretch this out twice like that. Cut out that end there. Just, we're not using that. And then you just want to add a low pass filter that is around 2K hertz. And that's it. And here it is. EZ Songstarter sounds like this. So both this counter melody and this bass line was created from this original melody here, hence the name EZ Songstarter. So the original melody just sounds like this. So to create that counter melody, we want to duplicate that. And then what we want to do is pitch these up on the duplicate plus 12 semitones plus 1 octave. We want to reverse them and then move them over. I think that's like an 8th note, and that creates us our counter melody. blend the audio in. Then to create our bass line, we're going to duplicate that original melody again. I'm just going to grab this bass line's, because obviously it's a bass line. I'm going to change the synth on it to be a bass. I think this is just nice. And then we want to open that up, legato them. And then what you want to do is you just want to cut out just random notes. And this is one of those things, it's just experiment, see what you like. And then from this, let's cut that one out. Then legato these all as well. So now we've basically created our bass line. Oh, forgot what I forgot to say. Pitch it down, -12 semitones, 1 octave. But that will depend on the song you're working on and where in the, you know, pitch it's sitting. So just from that, from that one melody, we've now created a whole, like, Songstarter. Little odd ones there, but you can fix that easily. Bass drop sounds like this. So that bass on its own. This is great for when it drops, just to feel a lot bigger. So as you can see here, we're doing this with an EQ. So without that, it's just no big opening. So what we're gonna do is grab an EQ, and we just want to set a bandpass filter going between like 100 and 300 hertz. So it's just like this. And then all you want to do is you want to automate that EQ to turn off when it drops. And then now you get this. Reverse stutters sounds like this. So all of that vocal thing there comes from this vocal cord thing got going on here. Excuse me. So what we want to do is duplicate this, and then we want to reverse this one, add a reverb to it, about, you know, leave it 1.2 second decay, wet signal all the way up. Then we want to freeze and flatten that, send this back out, and then we want to reverse it again, and we want to line it up with our original. And I can see where it's meant to be from this one. It's meant to be about there, so that's quite cool in itself. And then what we want to do is we want to add some stuttering to it. So I'm just going to take it from here. So you can see we've got it on a sine wave, about 62% of the amount, and it's at a 48th note speed. We can turn it up as well. Then, because I have this on the drop, I just want to bring this in here, line it up. And then lastly, what we want to do, once again, I'm just going to copy from here, is we want to sidechain compress it, as you've seen here, to the kick and the snare. This is completely dependent on your song. This, just for this track, it just works really well with the bounce. It gives it that kind of movement. And then lastly, what I did as well, and this is completely track dependent, this is just EQ, just tidying up the vocal. And that's it. And here's reverse stutters. Glitched vocals sounds like this. It's a really cool, like, trippy vocal, super easy to do. Don't know what I said there. So it all comes from this original vocal that's just. So all you want to do, select it, and you want to stretch it out twice like that. Then what we want to do is consolidate that, and then bring it back to its original length. So divide it by 2 twice. Then on Ableton, beat sounds best on this. And then we just want to reverse it. And that's it. Delayed Vox sounds like this.
Maybe I could get lost and can't get enough of you. Baby, give me good love.
Really nice to add just in the background with your vocals. So really easy to do as well. So what you want to do is you want to, on a new audio track, so we want to then go and copy just the parts of our vocal that we want to do this to. So as you've seen, I've just done this here. Just copied that down to there like that. Just for save time, I'm just going to copy all of these and just bring them up here. And then for the effects, what you want to do is, first of all, you want to grab a delay. You You want the delay set to a quarter note, 50% feedback, 100% wet. Once again, the delay time depends on the BPM of your song. I'm at 90 BPM for this track. Then what we want to do is add a reverb, and the reverb you want to be around 6.5 second decay time, 32% wet. And then lastly, just a little bandpass filter that's going between 350 and 3K hertz. Then what you want to do now is you want to go into the editor and you want to, or using a pitch shifter, however you do it in your DAW, you want to just pitch up the different things. So like this, let's just warp it, have it +7. I think I have this set to complex as well, just for Ableton. Then like I have this one here, it's +2. This one here, that's 0. This one here, it's +7. That's +2. That's 0. I think these should already be pre because I copied them, so they should already be the same. Yep, that's it. And then simply, that's it.
Maybe I could get lost.
Turn the volume down a bit.
Baby, give me good love. Boy, you give me good love.
Elegant sounds like this. To create this nice cool riser. So the way we do this is on a new track. We want to copy the first like syllable or more like first word of our vocal. For example, I'm just going to take this little like that, and then we want to copy that and then bring it onto a new track as if we're manually delaying it just like that. And I've got it going all the way up to when the vocal comes in. Then we're going to consolidate it all together and then add a little fade in with it as well. Then we want to grab a little auto boy or anything that's got formant shifting, and we want to automate our formant to go from 0 all the way down to -12 over that whole thing. So that's just. And then what we want to do is we want to add a reverb. Gonna set this about 5 to 6 second decay time, and then we want to automate the wet signal. I think 0 to 100, 0 to about 65% over the whole thing, just like that. And then now we've got that. Might have to bring the volume down a little bit. That's elegant. Reverse reverb sounds like this. Great effect, and this is how we do it. So on a new audio track, I'm just going to take that first syllable right there of that vocal and copy that down. Then what we want to do is we want to reverse that, and then we want to add, I like to use just in Ableton, it's just this long tail one. But basically, you just want to reverb, big decay, 7 seconds there, 100% wet. Then we're going to bounce that track in place, freeze and flatten it, bring that back in there, reverse it one more time to bring it back, and then we just want to line it up with our song just like this. And then should be, come on, move. Should be about right there. Add a little fade out at the end there. And then simply, that's a reverse reverb. Bouncy Stutters sounds like this. So it's super cool and really easy to do. So let's delete that like that. So what you want, get rid of that. So the original vocal just sounds like this. So what we want to do is we want to grab just any kind of stutter plugin, to use my Dark Flutters one, and I want to set this all the way up to 100% wet, and then I want to set the speed on the first one to an 1/8 triplet, just like that. Then copy this, and we want to duplicate that one. I didn't need to copy that, did I? Duplicate that vocal track, and on the new track, we want to change this one to be a 16th note, just like that. And then we're going to add a little bit of reverb before it as well. You can use that with this plugin, but if you haven't got this plugin, you're just using any starter plugin. Add a reverb before it, and the reverb is set to 5 second decay time and 100% wet. And then you just blend the volume of audios in together, and that's Bouncy Stutters. Whispers sounds like this. Gives us that super creepy whispering layer. So it all comes from this original vocal here. That's just. So let's duplicate that, and then we want to reverse it, and we want to add a vocoder onto that. Then we want to set the vocoder to, we want it to be on the 40 bands. We want the range to be 18 to 80 hertz, just like that. We want to boost the level a few dB as well. Where's the level? Where's the level? Boost the level a few dB there as well. release all the way down, attack all the way up, release all the way down, attack all the way up, and depth up a little bit as well. And that should give us start of the whisperiness. Beautiful. Then we want to freeze and flatten that track. Reverse it. And then we want to line it back up with the original. I think that should be lined up just like that there.
You are the sweetest paradise I saw, forever in your eyes.
Haunting pad sounds like this.
Don't wanna fall into your arms again.
Really, really cool effect and really easy to do. So what you want to do is duplicate your vocal and you want to stretch it out a couple of times so it's nice and stretched out just like that. Then you want to go ahead, just reverse it, and then you want to grab a random part of it that you like. I think this was the part I was using. Just take that little part. I'm just going to copy that there to start so it's going over the whole track. I believe it was something like that. Yeah, basically the exact same thing. Then we want to do is we want to add these couple of effects to that. So first one being a reverb that we set around 2.5 to 3 second decay, 100% wet, and then a band pass going between 225 hertz and 2.5K hertz, just the volume as you please. And then we get the nice haunting pad effect.
Don't wanna fall into your arms again. Don't wanna give you everything I have. And
Demon time sounds like this.
Fuck what they say, man, they can't hang with a true boy, but I don't gang bang. I just drop knowledge of the Wu-Tang Clan when I'm fucking with your gal, man, that's Suzanne. Man, I've been in the club looking for a queen.
Great for like drill and that kind of stuff and really easy to do. So what you want to do is first of all just duplicate your main vocal. Our lead vocal is just...
Fuck what they say, man, they can't hang.
And then we want to pitch it down 5 semitones.
Fuck what they say, man.
Gonna change this to complex.
Fuck what they say, man, they can't hang with a true boy, but I don't gang bang.
Then for the effects, there's only 2 effects we need to add to this. The first one being, I'm using Decapitator just for some saturation, just to give it that kind of like, you know, grit to it. Got the drive about 7, it's like a mid kind of tone. And then the dry wet's about 60%.
With a true boy, but I don't gang bang. I just drop knowledge of the Wu-Tang Clan.
And lastly, I've just sidechain compressed it to our original vocal just a little bit, so it's not overpowering that original vocal, and it's letting it sit nicely underneath. And that's it, and that's Demon time.
Fuck what they say, man, they can't hang with a true boy, but I don't gang bang. I just drop knowledge of the Wu-Tang Clan when I'm fucking with your gal, man, that's Suzanne.
Grainy vocals sounds like this.
loving only makes you weaker, don't you know? Press your head against the speaker.
Gives us this cool, grainy, trippy vocal. Really easy to do, so let me mute that. So the original vocal just sounds like this.
Loving only makes you weaker, don't you know?
So what we want to do is you want to duplicate that. You want to make sure it's warped, and you want to stretch it down, so divide by 2 3 times. So it's that short. Then what we want to do, select it, Command-J to consolidate it, and then stretch it back out times 2 3 times, so it's back to its original length. Then we want to change this to textures, put the grain size all the way up, flux all the way down. Then we want to add a reverb to this. We can leave it 1.2 second decay, put it about 70% wet. And then back in here, we want to go to the envelopes, to the clip, and we want to automate the grain size over every couple of bars, just to kind of do this kind of triangle shape, but you can do whatever you want here. Just to create that cool, like moving, grainy effect. And then once we've done that, now we get grainy vocals.
Loving only makes you weaker, don't you know? Press your head against the speaker. No matter how it tears apart my soul, I'll crawl right back onto the torture.
Pretty vocal sounds like this.
Call me up when you're lonely. Call me up when he's not around.
Really, really nice effect, hence the name Pretty Vocal. It's so pretty. So the original vocal is just...
Call me up when you're lonely. Call me up when he's not around.
So what you want to do, like you can see here, is just on a new track, you want to copy down the bits of the vocal that you want to apply this effect to. Then for the effects, first of all, we've got Little Autoboy, which has pitched everything down about -4 semitones. Then we've got a reverb that's set to about a 6 second decay, like 75% wet. Then we've got some chorus, and this is a great free chorus plugin, by the way. You'll see this used quite a few times throughout this book, and you probably already have. We've got this dry wet set to about 50% in the middle, just using this one here. Just a nice bit of chorus, full stereo width. Then we've got a delay set to, that is a half note. Ableton has it done weirdly. I think it's a half note. 33% feedback, 33% wet. And then we've got an EQ that's doing a little bit of a, kind of a, you know, what's it? It's like a softer band pass. I don't know what you say. Between 300 hertz and 9K hertz. And that creates the nice, pretty vocals.
Call me up when you're lonely. Call me up when he's not around.
Vocal rewind sounds like this. Really fun way to do some like really cool vocal glitches. So to do it, you want to take your vocal. Here's my original vocal, just sounds like this. And you just want to right click it. You want to slice this to a new MIDI track. Half note is fine. And we can delete this. So now you can play this on your keyboard or whatever controller you have. Then you just want to play in a new little vocal chop. I've just got this one I already made. It's one I made earlier here that's just. Then you just want to duplicate that. And on this new duplicate, you want to freeze and flatten this. And then you want to go through and you just want to reverse random notes, random parts. And that's why you keep this here. So you can see, like I can see there, there's a note there. I can reverse that one there. Reverse those two there. Why not reverse that one? Reverse that one. And then reverse that one as well. Then once you've done that, can mute all these. And then now you've made your vocal rewind. Vocal pad sounds like this. Really pretty to put in the background. If you know me at all, you know I love taking sounds and turning them into something completely different. So here's the original vocal.
I can't get you off of my mind.
So what we're going to do, just on a new audio track, we just want to cut out a piece of that vocal. I'm just taking this bit right here. Then we want to add a reverb to that, and we want to add a massive reverb, so 60% decay, 100% wet. Then we want to go ahead and just freeze and flatten that. And I'm going to turn this down. And then what you want to do is you want to kind of remove the first initial bit, that where you can kind of hear the vocal phrase. So here like there, I'll cut it from there. Can add that bit back in there. And then like you see I've done here, I'm going to chop out that there. And I'm going to duplicate this section and reverse this one. That's kind of what's creating that sort of, you know, that nice little flow. And lastly, we just got a bit of a nice band pass going between 200 hertz and 1.10K hertz. And then we just blend it into our song, and that's it. Delay pitch sounds like this.
I got you.
So this is perfect for bridging like two parts of a song together. So what we're going to do is on a new audio track, you want to take like the last word of your vocal and copy that onto a new track, and also add a little bit of a fade in at the start there. Then for the effects, we want to grab these couple of effects first, a reverb and delay. The reverb's going to be about 7-second decay time, 100% wet, and the delay is going to be on a quarter note. This once again depends on the BPM on your track. 95% feedback and 50% wet. Then what we want to do is we want to grab Little Autoboy or any pitch shifter you use, and we want to automate the pitch. And I have these links for just for Little Autoboy, mix all the way up to 100%. And we're going to have this automated that you see halfway through, because this goes over a couple of bars. It just makes it so it's not suddenly just starting to pitch up, and it gives it more of a flow in. Halfway through, it goes from 0 semitones up to +2 semitones, because this part of the song here is up 2 semitones from this one. It's a really cool way to do things, but once again, the pitch you go up will, or go down even, you could do, depends on the key and stuff your song is in. And then lastly, we just add a little bit of a band pass. We've got a high pass filter between 170 hertz, and then a low cut at 3K hertz, and that's it. And then we just turn that down a bit there as well, and then that's it. and that is delay pitch.
Got you.
Pad kick sounds like this. Quite crazy, we have turned a kick into a pad there. So what you want to do is take like a 4 to the floor kick like this, and then in groups of 4, just change the pitches of them. And I don't think whatever the pitches matters, it doesn't have to be in key or anything like that. Like you see here, I've got 0, there it's -4 semitones, there it's +5 semitones, there it's -8 semitones. So it's just like a... Then what we want to do is we want to drop a convolution reverb onto it and then take like a pad sound, like I've just got this. And we want to drop that into the convolution reverb. We want to change this to convolution, make the attack like 500 milliseconds or so, keep the decay at 20 seconds, bring the dry wet all the way up to 100%. And on the EQ, we're going to have a bit of a high pass filter between like 800 to 1K hertz. And that's it. You've now turned a kick into a pad. Snare slaps before and after sounds like this. You can see it's just adding that extra bit of power to the snare. Really easy to do. As you see, it's just a little bit we've added before it. So just zoom into the snare, chop out a little bit of it, just like that's fine. And then we want to add, get rid of that fade, add a nice, really quick fade in like that. And then we get without. So then once you've done that, we can just go and we can just add that to all of them. Place those ones, it's fine. And then now you get some really slappy snares. Bouncy Vocoder sounds like this. Would you believe me if I told you that that bouncy little synth there is actually just a percussion loop? Well, it is. It's this one right here. So to do it, we're just going to right click this, slice it to a new MIDI track, quarter notes is fine. Then we're going to open this up and we're just going to, what we can do in Ableton is just go on seed here and we can just generate a random just mess of just, if you're not on Ableton, you can just spam it in yourself, play it in yourself, whatever you want to do. Then what we want to do is we want to open up a vocoder and we want to set the vocoder's carrier to be external. And we're setting it from just a random synth playing a chord that I've just got this here. It's muted in the track. And obviously, depending on the sound you use in that synth there will affect how it sounds in this. So like now this sounds like... So to make it sound better, what we're going to do is we're going to play around with the release. And bring the formants down about -4. Sounds good. That sounds good there. And then just to give it that final bit of a boost, we're just going to add some OTT. And we're going to set that to like 30-35%. Mute the old one. And that's it. Now you've got that bouncy vocoder. Hat roll sounds like this. Really cool way to just add that, like, kind of even like a transition. It's like a really nice vibe. So to do it really easy, just take your hi-hat. Like I've just got the hi-hat for it. It's just this. And then you want to chop it down to like 16, 30 seconds, 64 notes. It depends on your BPM. So you're just like manually delay it, as you can see, like it's done here. Then select them all, bring them all together, consolidate them, Command J on your keyboard if you're on Ableton. Add a nice little fade in. And then with the effects, it's just these 3 really simple effects we want to add to it here. First of all, first one being a low pass filter just around 8K hertz, just to put it a bit more in the back. Low pass filter, is that right? Yeah, that is. Yeah. And then a reverb, about 2.5 second to 3 second, 2.76 second decay time, 25% wet. And then a delay set to 16th notes. Once again, this will depend on the speed of your track or what kind of vibe you're going for with the delay. 20% feedback, 20% wet. Mute the old one. And then you can just duplicate this wherever you want it in your track. I'll put it like here as well. And that's it. Hat roll. Kicks at 808. So we're going to turn this kick into this 808 bass style sound. And it only takes 2 plugins. So first of all, you just want to grab the drum bus effect. And then we want to turn the boom all the way up and then pull back on the output a bit because adding that boom is going to add a lot of volume. So you can see there we're starting to get that sub coming through. Then you just, then you just want to grab any kind of saturation you want. I'm using Decapitator. I'm going to put it on this setting, mix all the way up, and then just play around the different settings to get it to how you want. And then from there, you can just freeze and flatten it, put it into a MIDI, whatever you want to do. But now you've created your own 808. Alien drums sounds like this. Super creepy sounding drums, but super easy to do. So the original percussion, the drum loop sounds like this. So what we want to do, as you can see here, is just reverse random parts. So it's just taking random bits like that. I'm just going to copy what I did here. Just taking little bits like that. This is just one of those fun things where you can just pick and choose wherever you want to go. Let me do something here like that, and then just reverse that whole thing there. Why not? And then what we want to do is you want to add a phaser flanger. Let me just set the settings up for you so you can see. Just added any flanger, any kind of phaser plugin. Where's Ableton's phaser flanger? I've got it on the flanger here, and I think I have it on like a 13.2 millisecond time. Amount all the way down, feedback to like 80%. Remembering what I did here, and then about 25% wet. You see how playing around with those different settings can create a different vibe, but yeah, super cool one. Reverse delays sounds like this.
Running through the woods, looking for a good excuse to give it all up.
So the original sounds just like this.
I've been running through the woods, looking for a good excuse.
So you can hear we added this like cool like reverse delay inside of it. So how did we do that? Well, what you want to do is first of all, you just want to reverse the vocal that you want to do this to. Then we want to do is we want to add a delay to it. 100% wet, about 40% feedback, and we'll set it onto half note here, which I think is an 8th note in Ableton terms because they do it differently or whatever. Once you've done that, you just want to bounce track in place, freeze and flatten it, and then just reverse it back to bring it back to its full length and line it back up with how it's meant to be. Let me just check here and the other one I did, so I don't have anything for reference right now. And that's it. And now you've got your reverse delay effect. Looking for a good excuse to give it all up. Slappy Chorus sounds like this.
Without you beside me, with you.
So this is all happening in a return track or a bus track, aux track, whatever you want to call it, which is this one down here.
Without you.
So that's what's creating that slappy chorus. So first of all, you want to have a delay on this return track, and I've got this set to, I think that's an 8th note. I always get confused because Ableton does it a different way, but let me turn everything off so you can hear it one at a time. So it's just slappy, 50% feedback, 100% wet. Then we add in some saturation. I'm just using the Decapitator. I've got the mix all the way up, drive quite up a bit, and like fairly darker kind of tone.
Without you.
So it adds that bit of grit. Then we've got the chorus plugin. I've already mentioned this plugin, but if you're skipping to just this trick and you haven't seen the ones before, this is a free plugin. Highly recommend it. This is just stereo width all the way up, about 50% wet.
Without you.
So it adds that nice chorus to it. And then lastly, we end it with a bandpass filter going between 150 hertz and 3.5K hertz. Then all you do is you simply just send, so it's this bus track here, or turn, whatever you call it. You just simply send your vocal to that, or your melody, whatever it is, and then you get the lovely slappy chorus.
Without you beside me, with you.
Grainy sounds like this.
Be on your mind, like all the time. Your body's mine, so spend the night.
It's a cool kind of, it sounds almost like skidding, kind of like a reverby delay thing. So really easy to do. So you just want to open up a new return track, new bus track, new aux track. That's what this one is down here. Then on that, you want to add a grain delay. And I've got it at 100% dry wet. It's at 1 hertz. And I think that's, yeah, it's plus 12 semitones pitch. And if you just listen to that on its own, it's...
Be on your mind, like all the time.
Creates a crazy kind of bounce there. Then we add a reverb that's at a 3.5 second decay, 100% wet, which makes it now this.
Be on your mind, like all the time. Your body.
That makes this kind of crazy, like big wide sound. And then we tidy it up here. We push it more to the back with a nice just low pass filter. It's a little bit ducked here, but that's just because of the particular sound I'm using. So it's just like a low pass filter around 1.3k hertz. And then simply all you do is that's the send for the track there. You just send your audio to it, whether it's a vocal, melody, and then you get this.
Be on your mind, like all the time. Your body's mine. Take your time.
Aesthetic Slaps sounds like this.
Dealing with the inspo, blowing smoke out the window. I know, want a bad bitch with me. Need a bad bitch with me.
Quick fun fact about this trick. I was in Philly, Westchester in particular, with a friend of mine whose vocal this is, and he was playing, I think it was an Amiro Bay song, and it had this effect in it, and he was like, that's really cool. He was like, can you like do that effect? And I was like, okay, cool. And then I made the effect. So all what's going on here is it's all happening on this return track here, which is... So this one also sounds great on like melodies and stuff like that. So all we've got going on for the effects, it's obviously in a new return track, bus track, aux track, whatever you call that. We've got a delay that's on 20 milliseconds. So it's a really fast, slappy delay. 0% feedback, 100% wet.
Dealing with the inspo, blowing smoke out the window. I know.
So without it,
Dealing with the inspo.
I mean,
blowing smoke.
you're not really going to hear a difference there because it's 20 milliseconds forward, it's pushing it. That's what happens when you have the dry wet all the way up and the feedback down, is it's basically whatever you set this to, even if it's on here, it's basically just going to delay it. Oh, let me get back. It's basically just going to delay the audio by that much because you've got 100% wet, you've got no feedback. Because if I turn the feedback up,
Dealing with the inspo, smoke out the window.
you're now getting all that. Then we have just some distortion going on. You just want to add a bit of distortion. It's quite heavy distortion.
Dealing with the inspo, blowing smoke out the window. I know.
To get that distorted vibe. Then we just got a reverb that's sat around a 1 second decay time, 100% wet. So it's quite roomy. Then we just got some EQ, just once again pushing it in the back, just tucking it away because you don't want it too intense. But I mean, that's up to you. So EQ's doing a bit of bandpass. It's going between like, oh, what's happening here? 400 hertz and 2.5k hertz. And that's it. And then you get Aesthetic Slaps.
Dealing with the inspo, blowing smoke out the window. I know, want a bad bitch with me.
Reverb Swells sounds like this. So it's a really cool way to add kind of that extra layer vibe just to a single track. So the way we do it, so I've just got this melody here that's just... So you want to grab a reverb, and we're going to set the decay quite high to like 16 seconds. Somewhere around there. And then what you want to do is you want to automate the dry wet of the reverb to make these kind of swelling patterns. So, I mean, I don't know if that's the exact terminology for this. So like that. So it's like... You see, that's what... Bring it back down. Little loosen that a little bit because it's... Don't want any of that clicking and stuff like that. And you basically just repeat that as much as you want, and then you can create, I don't know if you heard in the demo, there's like one with like a really interesting shape where it kind of like goes up, and it's like, it goes up by like different points. I think I did it. It was something like that. So it's like, I don't know, something crazy like that. But you see from that just how you can create some just really cool reverb swells. Slow stutters sounds like this. really vibey. So without the effect on it, it's just. So you can see a big effect there. So what we're doing here is we've got an auto filter on it that we have set. It's on the low pass filter there, 24. And we've got the LFO amount set to about 10% with these settings. You can just see all the settings here. There's no point me redoing it for some of these because it's just right there for you. And then what we're doing is we're automating that auto filter's filter frequency. So you see that's, that's here, to go between 205 and 20k hertz. So that's the opening up here. That gives it that opening up sound. And then we're also automating the rate, the synced rate of that LFO there. And that's going between a 30-second note and a quarter note. This will depend on your BPM. And that's what gives it the fast stuttering to slow stuttering. So if I turn the frequency, if I turn that off for a second. You can hear how it's getting slower. And then once you've done that, dry wet 100%. That's slow stutters. Double delays sounds like this. So what's happening here and the way we do this is you want to set up 2 new return aux bus tracks for yourself. So we've got one here and one here. And simply on one of them, you want to add a quarter note delay, 30% feedback, 100% wet. And on the other one, you want to add a third note triplet, whatever you want to call it, delay, a 30% feedback, 100% wet. And then you just blend into your audio into those buses to taste. So I'll show you each of them on their own. That's just the quarter note. And then, oh my God. And then the triplet. And then together. And a really fun thing with this is you can change some of the times. I can change that to the 5th there. And just make really cool double delays. Delay swells sounds like this. Very similar to Reverb Swells, so before it just sounds like this. So the way we do this is simply just add a delay, and this is set to 1, so it's a really fast like slap delay. Feedback all the way up to 95%, and then you simply just want to automate the wet signal, the wet mix of the delay to make these nice curves here of where you want the kind of delay to happen. So you'll see here. Ghostly sounds like this.
Don't let me fall, don't let me catch me once again. Don't let me drown, I'm begging, I'll see you again.
Really cool, like really dark ambient layer coming underneath that. So that's all happening on a new bus track over here. That is just... So what we've got going on here, first of all, is a pitch shifter that's just down -12 semitones, so down -1 octave at 100% wet. Then we add a reverb with a 5.5 second decay, 100% wet. Then we just add an auto pan, just about 60% amount here on a sine wave, 0.22 hertz. This is one of those things you'll play around with depending on your track, just to give it a kind of smooth left to right. And then lastly, you just blend your audio into that new bus track, and then you get ghostly.
Don't let me fall, don't let me catch me once again.
Blur sounds like this. So that effect is all coming from a bus down here that's just... So the way we do this is first of all, we add an EQ, and this is going to be very track dependent, whatever audio you're using for this effect. But I've got this as a crazy bandpass between 1 and 1.5K hertz, so it's completely just isolating that nice kind of high mids there. And then a reverb, 4.5 second decay, about 4 second decay, 100% wet. So that reverb there gives it the ambience. And then a pitch shifter at plus 12 semitones, which is plus 1 octave, 50% wet, and then a 350 millisecond delay window, which literally just means it delays the audio by 350 milliseconds. So it gives it more of a kind of gliding kind of effect. And then you just send your audio into that bus, and then you got blur. Split delays sounds like this. It's a really cool effect, similar to double delays. So what we do is we've got two aux tracks, return tracks, bus tracks, whatever you call them. On the first one, we were starting with a low pass filter around 1000 hertz. And then we've got a quarter note delay, 32% feedback, 100% wet. That just sounds like this. And then on the other one, we've got a high pass filter going from 1K hertz. So you see what we're doing here is we're splitting the EQ bands to two different sections. We're not missing any frequencies. It's literally, as you can see, it's just gone the other way. So then now on this one, we've got this set to, that is, I believe, a half note in Ableton terms, but eighth note, whatever. That's 32% feedback, 100% wet. Obviously, you can make the speeds whatever you want, whatever works for your track and whatever you like. Get creative with it. And that sounds like this. And obviously, you'll play around with the where the EQ is. Like I've got this at 1K hertz is where it's going from. Depending on your sound, you might have that somewhere else. And then simply all you do is you just blend your audio into those buses, and then you get this. Video game sounds like this. So the sound before sounded like this. So it's a really cool way to give your sounds like that video game effect. So the way we do it is you want to first of all just grab your bit crusher, and I set the rate. This will depend on the sound you're using, but for me, about 4 to 5K hertz, and we're gonna change the wet to like 40% or so. Then what we want to do is, so that sounds like this now. It's giving it that, you know, kind of destroyed bit crushed 8-bit, you know, retro video game sound. Then we're gonna add a pitch shifter that we're gonna bring down minus 12 semitones, so it's down minus 1 octave. And we're gonna have this really low, so it's only just subtly getting this. So that's at 12%. And that's video game. Flanger delay sounds like this.
Suicide, suicide. Are you alive? Are you alive? It's do or die. It's do or die. Feed me lies. Don't lie.
It's a really nice, pretty delay to use. Sorry, let me mute up for now. So this is all happening on a bus track, aux track, return track over here. That is just, first of all, it is a little bit of a high pass around 350 hertz to cut out those lows. So it's
suicide.
Then we add our delay. I've got this set to, it's a half note and eighth note. It's Ableton's different like that. 35% feedback and 100% wet.
Suicide, suicide.
And then we've got our flanger. I'm just using this meta flanger preset. Here's all the settings, mix 50%, and you can kind of just copy these as you wish, just to give that flanger to it.
Suicide, suicide. Are you alive? Are you alive? It's do or die. It's do or
And then after
die.
that, we've got a touch of the reverb as well. We've got about 2.5 second decay and 40% wet.
Suicide.
Give it a bit more ambience.
Are you alive?
And then you just blend your audio into that bus to taste. And that's it. That's flanger delays.
Suicide, suicide. Are you alive? Are you alive? It's do or die. It's do or die. Feed me lies.
Open stutter sounds like this.
Girls going with the flow, and my limb
There's this nice little thing here.
going with the flow, and my
Very easy to do. So first of all, you want to drop an EQ on that track. You want to set it to a low pass filter, and you want to automate the low pass filter to go from about 600 hertz to completely open where you want that effect to happen. So it's just, let me show you it.
Flow in my
Then you want to add a stutter plugin. I just got this on a simple sine wave, and you want to automate, first of all, the amount of the stutter to go from 100% where you want the effect to happen down to about 70%, so it's slowly coming off, and then automate the rate, oh, it's all the way down here, to go from 64 note all the way up to a quarter note. This might depend a little bit depending on the BPM and the track you're working on, so it creates the, that creates the, like, the stuttering getting slower, but also coming off.
flow in
So it's less intense towards the end because of the amount. And then that's it. And now you've got a nice open stutter.
girls going with the flow in my limousine.
Nice delay sounds like this.
Late night city lights, I'm feeling low, my
So you can hear it's quite a slappy delay, but it's like a telephone as well. So the way we do that is we just have a new return bus aux track opened up. And first of all, on this, we want to have a delay. And this delay here is set to an 8th note, 100% wet. And that's like 50, well, they do it a bit weird here. They do it 0 to 100. So that'd be a 25% feedback.
late night city lights, I'm feeling
Just a simple delay. Then we're going to add some saturation to it. Saturation using the capitator. I've got the wet signal about 75%. A midway drive just to give it a bit of a boost.
late night city lights, I'm feeling
And then lastly, we just add an EQ doing a bit of a band pass between 500 hertz and 3.3k hertz. This is sort of quite a good zone for kind of that telephony effect. So on its own, that's just. And then all we do is we blend our audio into this new bus track and we get the nice delay.
late night city lights, I'm feeling low, my
Disenchanted sounds like this. Super like ethereal kind of sound. So the way we do this is the original melody just sounds like this. So you want to duplicate that track as you see here. And then on that track, we want to first of all add a delay set to a half note here. 95% feedback, 100% wet. And I've also added this filter to it. If your EQ doesn't have a filter, you can just do this via like an aux track, a bus, a return track to add this kind of filter here. That's going between, what is that, 1.02k hertz. So that gives it the... Or you could just add an EQ after it, really. Don't have to do it on a bus track. 100% wet. And then after that, we just add a reverb for about 4-second decay and about 70% wet to create that ethereal layer. And then you just blend the audios together to find a nice sweet spot for your song. Tails sounds like this. So that is literally a reverb tail being played, and that reverb tail comes from this little vocal we got here. So first what we want to do is on a new audio track, we want to take out, just cut out a bit of the vocal. I took this bit here. Then on this we want, so it's just, then on this we want to add a reverb with around a 14-second decay time, so quite big, 100% wet. Then we want to go ahead and freeze and, oh, wrong button. Freeze and flatten, bounce that track in place. So now we've just got this nice. And then what we want to do is on a new MIDI track, open up whatever sampler it is you use. Just going to use Simpler from Ableton. Drop that in. So now we've got a playable. And then what you want to do is I want to move this over a bit. So we're not getting that kind of thing there. We're just getting like a, like that. And then maybe adjust the attack a little bit just to get rid of any clicks or kind of stuff like that you might get. Then we're going to add a reverb, another reverb, give it a bit more ambience. And we're going to set that to around a 4-second decay. And then we're going to put the wet signal to about 50% wet. And then all you do is you play in your MIDI. I'm just going to copy this one I've got here. And then that's it. And you've now created a nice little melody from a vocal. Oh, I missed the reverb. Did I put it on the wrong thing? 4-second decay, 4-second decay, yeah, 50% wet. Add that original vocal back in as well. Telephone sounds like this. And on a vocal. So before. So to do this, if you are on Ableton, you're lucky because you have this telephone vocal preset inside of EQ8. Has this telephone vocal preset. If you're not, all the key, you can see all the frequencies and all the things for the EQ on the book. Here they are now, just so you can see them. This will set up a nice telephone sound like this. And then we're going to add some bit crushing. We're going to leave the rate of 40k hertz, 100% wet, but we're going to adjust the bits because this gives us that kind of that noise that you would hear from a telephone. Off, on. Just finding a nice sweet spot there. And that's telephone. So again, on and off on the melody. Exact same settings. Glitches sounds like this.
Sunshine and moonlight, I fade into stars up in your eyes.
So this whole effect is happening on this little glitch track vocal here. So there's quite a lot going on. So I'm just going to turn them all off and show you one by one. So first we'll duplicate the track you want to do this to. For me, I've just got a vocal here. So before it's just
Sunshine and moonlight.
Then what we want to do is add a reverb. Got about 2-second decay, 50% wet.
Sunshine and moonlight.
Then a delay at a quarter note, 50% feedback, 50% wet. Nice and in the middle there.
Sunshine.
And then here's where we start getting the glitching. So on the auto pan on Ableton, you have this random setting. I think a lot of kind of like LFOs you can find, like plugins. I think maybe your DAW will most likely have something like this, where it's just a random setting. I've got this on 16th note. On the random one, shape 100%, 70% amount. So this is doing the... basically making the volume go trippy like that. After I've got a bit of overdrive, which is set around 1.10k hertz for this kind of setting in the... I don't know the exact thing. I'll call this in the kind of EQ on it. But 50% drive, 50% tones. It's midway, dynamics 50%, dry wet about 24%. Use whatever overdrive, saturator kind of plugin you want to use for this. Just to give it that aggressiveness. Then we've got another LFO that we're using to control both the low pass filter and a high pass filter and a low pass filter. And you can see here, these are both mapped to that between, these are the settings here. Bit long for me to just read out every single setting to you, but it's on a sine wave. You see it's got a bit of jittering. The jittering is what causes it to go like this. So if I put this jittering down, smooth, turn it back up, makes it a bit more trippy. Depth 60% on a rate of 1, so it's moving for 1 bar, so it's doing the whole thing over 1 bar, and then that's it. And now you get this cool glitchy trippy effect. You just blend it into your original one, or use just this one as a new one.
I fade into stars up in your eyes. Yeah.
Radio sounds like this. So it's a really cool kind of radio style effect, and the way we do this, so before it's just a guitar that sounds like this. So once again, Ableton uses telephone vocal. You can straight up use that. If not, all the settings are inside the books. You can see for each EQ setting. And this just gives us that nice telephony effect. Radio style similar. And then you just want to add some vinyl distortion. Now, if you don't have a plugin like this, you can just quite literally use some Foley or just vinyl distortion. Here I just have the crackle on like 0.40. Nothing crazy. It just gives that kind of crackle to make it feel more like it's coming through like an old radio kind of player. And that's radio. Broken Game sounds like this. So it'd be really cool for you to use like outros, intros, stuff like that. So before it sounded like this. So what we did first of all is in our audio editor, we're automating the clip transposition. If you're able to make sure it's warp on Complex or Complex Pro, clip transposition, and we've got it just going over the whole audio, which is over 2 bars. It's going from 0 to minus 12 semitones, which is minus 1 octave. If you're not in Ableton, just use a pitch shifter and automate it. Same thing. Then we're using some bit crushing again, around 11k hertz, but that we're going to automate that. 100% wet, 16 bits, and we're automating that to go from about 11k hertz to 117 hertz, so it's giving it the crush destroyed sound. And then we're just automating a low pass filter just to go from completely open down to like 250 hertz, and that's it, and that's broken game. Movements sounds like this. Great for a nice background vibe and really simple to do. So we just have this vocal here that's just.
You're keeping secrets, baby, I see it written all over your face.
So first thing we want to do is we want to grab a pitch shifter. I'm just using Little Auto Boy and I've got this pitch down -5 semitones. And what we want to do is we want to automate the mix of our pitch shifter to go all the way up, come all the way off, and then all the way up over the, what is that, 8 bars, but this will just depend on your song. So you can see it goes down and then back up. So that sounds like.
You're keeping secrets, baby, I see it.
Just turning the pitch off, basically.
You don't wanna be, not gonna stand in your way.
And then back on. Then we want to add a reverb, and we want to set it to about 4.5 second decay time. And then we want to automate the mix of the reverb, so the wet dry of the reverb. Same shape as we just did for the pitch shifter. So going from like 100% all the way down to like, what's that, 20% and all the way back up. So it's just really big reverb coming off. And then come back up. And then lastly, we're just going to do an EQ on a low pass filter that we're automating the opposite way around. So it's coming from 1000 hertz to completely open and back down to 1000 hertz. So it's opening up and closing. And that's it. And then that is movements. Slowed and reverb sounds like this. So this is great to use on like a full track. You probably heard the like slowed and reverb style of song. So this is how you do it. So originally it sounded like this. So what we wanted to do is first we want to stretch this out twice. So it's now double its original length. Then we just want to add these couple of effects to that. So the first one being a pitch shifter that we have pitched down -12 semitones. That's -1 octave, about 40% wet. This just adds a nice kind of bit of character and fullness to it. Then we want to add a reverb, just about 3 second decay, 60% wet, and that's it, and that's slowed and reverb. Tape stop sounds like this.
Smoke up, that's in the blue. Free up the guys and dip out the ends.
Super popular effect and really easy to do. So what we have here, all that's going on is the vocal on its own is just.
Smoke up, that's in the blem. Free up the guys, then dip out the ends.
So you see this word blem, that's when we want to bring the tape stop in, so on this word.
Blem.
So what we want to do is grab a pitch shifter, and you just want to automate your pitch shifters. So set it to 100% wet. You just want to automate the pitch, so going from 0 to -24 semitones, that's down 2 octaves, just where you want it to happen. That literally creates the tape stop. So,
blue. Free up, blue.
And this can take a little bit of fiddling to find a good point.
The blue. Free up the.
See, I don't really like that. I like it being quite
blue. Free up
aggressive like that, kind of happening just like halfway through as the words start, just after the word starting. And that's it. And that's tape stop.
Smoke up, that's in the blue. Free up the guy.
And the cool thing is you can literally just duplicate this where else you want it to go. Like, let's put it on this word as well.
Smoke up, that's in the blow. Free up the guys and dip out the end. Jump in the ride and
Maybe move that back a little bit. Oh,
jump in the ride.
that's tape stop. LFO Vibes sounds like this. So before everything, this is what a melody sounded like. So the first thing you want to do is add an EQ set to a low pass filter. Don't worry about the frequency. We're going to do something with that in a second. And then we'll add a reverb, about 1.2 second decay, and about, oh, the wet signal actually is going to be LFO'd. So you'll wait and see. And then what we're going to do is add an LFO, and this is mapped to the frequency of our low pass filter and the dry wet signal of our reverb. And this is going between 0 and 100%. Then we want to set it onto a down waveform. We want to make the smooth at about 10%. 8th note rate, this will depend on the BPM of your track. And then what we want to do is we want to automate this depth in this kind of triangle shape here. So this brings it open and then brings it less intense, more intense, and then it gets less intense. And that's it, and that's LFO Vibes. Specter sounds like this.
Cause you don't need to run away tonight.
So it's a really cool effect, and the way we do this, so the original vocal just sounds like this.
Cause you don't need to run away tonight.
So you just want to bring that onto a new track, as you can see I've done here. And for the effects, first of all, we're just adding some pitch shifting, plus 12 semitones, about 50% mix. Start one octave. Then we're using spectral time here, and I think there's a bunch of free plugins that do this kind of similar thing. These are settings we have there, 100% wet, a little bit fade in 350 milliseconds, fade out 360 milliseconds, sensitivity 100% on retrigger with the freeze on as well, and that creates that kind of like the really kind of fucked up thing. Resolution ultra as well, and then we just got an EQ just cutting off to about 6k hertz on a low pass, and then that's it. And that is Specter.
Cause you don't need to run away tonight.
Cross transitions sounds like this. Super pretty to do and really easy to do. So what we want to do first of all is you just want to cut out a section of your song where you want this transition to happen. So for example, I just have that bit there that I wanted to cut out. I left the drums out there because I have the transition on it. So you just cut that out, cut it completely out. Then you want to take all of your drums and like kind of like, yeah, you can use like your risers, crashes, whatever into it, and put that into its own group. Then on this group, what you want to do is you want to add a bit crusher that's around a 6k hertz, so depend on your song. But for drums, that sounds quite good, 16 bits and 100% wet, so it sounds like this. And then you want to add an EQ, just doing a bit of a high pass filter around 150 hertz, which sounds like this. And then all you want to do is you just want to automate those two effects to turn on where you want this, where this transition is happening. So that's the EQ. And then there's the redux. And then that's it. And now we've created a nice little crush transition. Intro suspense sounds like this. Super, super cool. So it's really easy to do. So all you want to do is on your little intro section here where I've just got this one plain synth that is just normally like this. It's normally like that. What I've done is I've automated the BPM of the track to go to a quarter of what it originally was and automate up. So a quarter of 160 is what the full track is at. It's 40, so it goes from 40 to 160. Then on the synth, I've added an EQ that's doing a low pass filter between 350 Hertz to all the way up in 22K at the end. And it's with this nice little slight curve on it. And then I've also automated the pitch. This is a bit of a pitch bend. I don't know exactly how low a pitch this is. I think it's only about maybe down like a fifth, but just automating some pitch, just going down with that same sort of curve as the that same sort of curve as the EQ to give it that bringing up feel. And that's it. That is intro Suspense. Build up sounds like this. So it creates a nice little riser for us. This all just comes from this one vocal here. So all you want to do is just chop out a little bit of that vocal and copy it down, as you see here, and just copying it into like, well, I think this might be 32 notes. 16th notes, I think this is, just so we're going. And then what you want to do is on that, you want to automate the pitch of it, going from 0 to plus 12 semitones over the whole course of it. So that's up 1 octave. And then you just want to automate a reverb as well. That's set to about a 11-second decay time. And you want to automate that reverb's time to go from, so it goes, we automate the time. So I'm forgetting half the tricks I've done. It goes from 0.25 seconds all the way up to like 11 seconds time. And then the same thing for the wet dry. It's going from about 20% all the way up to 100% or 90%. And that creates us that nice little riser that we can take from any sound. And as you hear that, I leave the reverb up so it gives it that nice like space and flow in. Shifty Transition sounds like this. Cool little trippy one there. All we're doing this to is just on the master. So, excuse me. On a master, just pick the place where you want the transition to happen. For me, it's here. And what we want to do is you want to add an EQ that you've got a low pass and a high pass filter set on. And we want to automate the frequency of both of those. You see for the high pass filter, it's going from 114 coming all the way off. So you see like that. And then for the high pass filter, it's doing the same thing, but the opposite way. So it's going from 2.5K Hertz to completely off, to completely open, sorry. So you see it go. So that's what's making the band pass open up. Then what we're going to do is add a pitch shifter. I've got this at 100% wet. And all we want to do is automate the pitch of this. You see here, I've got to do some crazy things. So it starts at up 12 semitones. Then it goes all the way down to minus, so up 1 octave, then down to minus 24 semitones, so minus 2 octaves, back up to plus 1 octave, plus 12 semitones, and off. So it's doing this kind of weird shape here. So on its own, that's... And with the EQ, it just makes that nice vibe of a shifty transition. DJ sounds like this. Really cool effect, very similar to like things DJs would do and really simple to do. So without these effects on, that little section here sounds like. So what we want to do first of all is on your master, drop an EQ that's doing a low pass filter. And then all you want to do is automate that frequency of the low pass filter to start all the way open at 22K Hertz and then come down to about 400 Hertz. And that creates the... And obviously all the way back up when it drops. Then we want to add some stuttering. And this is set just on, I think this is just like a saw wave. I have inverted the, inverted the phase, I think, on it. And then all you want to do is you want to automate this in the same spot as you have the EQ. Just the amount going from 0 to 80%. And then you want to automate the rate that you want synced. And this will depend on the BPM of your song, like mine's 174 BPM. But I have this at 1/16 for 3/4 of the transition. And then for the last quarter, just to add that little bit more of an impact, I make it go down to an 1/8 note. And then that creates the DJ effect. Rev Pitch sounds like this. Cool, nice little skewed transition here. That's all coming from this little resampled piece down here. So what I've done here, and what you want to do, is you want to take the section where you want the transition. Oh, I don't know why I can't move it. where you want the transition, I don't know, can't move it, but the transition to happen. So I had it in this place here, and you just want to resample onto a new track that audio. So it would have been, oh, let me adjust the, I know what's happening here. And then so that's what it sounds like after it's resampled here. Then what we want to do is just reverse it. Oh, I didn't see it happen. Pitch it up, plus 12 semitones, and then add a high pass filter that is just automated the frequency to go from about 4K hertz to all the way open. So, and that is how you make the Rev Pitch. Autobots sounds like this. You might recognize this from my transitions plugin that has an effect called Autobots, and this is pretty much what's happening. So you want to pick the place where you want the automation to, where you want the transition to happen. For me, it's right here, as you can hear. And then what you want to do is on your master, drop a pitch shifter at 100% wet that you want to automate from minus 24 semitones, so minus 2 octaves, back up to 0 where the transition happens, which just sounds like this. And then you want to add an EQ doing a high pass filter that you want to automate to go from 2K hertz to all the way back 10 to 10 hertz, which sounds like this. And then when you mix the two together, you get this lovely Autobots transition. Sweepy sounds like this. So this is great for connecting two parts together. You can kind of ignore this kind of thing I've got going on here, sorry, the little drum break. This is basically just for a great way to, you know, connect two sections together or make a nice like fake out drop almost, you know, and with just literally silence. So what we're doing is on our master, first of all, we have a reverb that's set to a 14-second decay, and all we're doing is we're automating that dry wet signal to go up over this last 4 bars here to about 60% and then slowly come off, which is what makes us that kind of like swell. And then we've got an EQ that's on a high pass that is just doing similar things. So it's coming up on that last 4 bars, going from 10 hertz all the way to 1K hertz, sits there for a second, then it comes off because of that drop. This is completely just creative decision of what you want to do, but that's how you create the space. And then when you mix them both together, so it just sounds like this, sorry. And it'll come off because that bit's there. But altogether, that creates us the nice sweepy transition. And you have it just drop there. Beautiful. Easy risers sounds like this. You can literally make this riser from anything. That was a dog bark. That was just... So all you want to do is you just want to stretch that dog bark out, or whatever sound you're using. Stretch it out. I'll just cut it off here as well. Add your fade in. On Ableton, I like to put this onto tones and bring the grain size all the way up. It creates a nice... like that. And then what we want to do is the effects we want to add is, first of all, we've got this EQ that's on a low pass filter that we are just automating to go from down at 600 hertz and then open all the way up. So it's just... Oh, let me turn it on. That would help. Gives it that whoop sound. And then we've got... Oh, sorry. Let me show you without that reverb on. I don't know why that turned on. That creates that. And then we've got a reverb that we have set to a 2.5 second decay time. And then we just automate the wet signal similar to the EQ, going from about 0% all the way up to about 50%, just over that little bit there, just to give it that extra, you know, that kind of tail to it. And that's it. And you've now turned that dog bark into a riser. Subby Transition sounds like this. Nice little transition, really easy to do. So first of all, you want to cut out your bass from the section of where you want this transition to happen. Then you want to group your drums together, and on here we're going to add a high pass filter and a low pass filter, high pass filter and a low pass filter. And we just want to automate those to be coming off. So we've got the high pass filter here, our low pass filter, sorry, going from 1.87k hertz all the way back to open. So that's number 4 there, going open. And then we've just got our, where is it? One frequency A. And we've got our high pass filter going from 10 hertz, so off, going up to 750 hertz. So that creates the like nice little bandpass kind of swell there. Then we're just going to add a couple little sub drops here, and then this is just sub drops, just sounds like this. And then we're going to duplicate that, and on this one reverse it, and then add in our fades like that, so they play off nicely with each other. And then any other rises you want to do, stuff like that. Really simple, and that's Subby Transition. Cut transition sounds like this. A nice, very typical transition. That's first of all, with our vocals here, we've just duplicated the part where the transition happens twice. And on the first one, we pitched it up plus 12 semitones up 1 octave and minus 12 semitones down 1 octave, and then just blended them in together. So the vocals all together are just... Then what we've done is we've grouped all of our like drums and everything else together, and we've just taken a certain part, usually with a kick sounds best, and just duplicated that into quarter notes over this bar here. Well, it's half bar, so it's 8th notes, I think, just so it's... And then what I've done is I've also automated the speaker on and off, so basically like the track on the group on and off. Off, obviously, where it cuts here, and that's just to avoid things like reverb tails and stuff like that, because if you have it on, you hear that reverb tail. Oh, that for some reason Ableton plays through like that, but not in the full track like that. And that's it. And then you get a nice little transition. Rev Transition sounds like this. Really nice melodic transition and really easy to do. So first of all, you just want to cut out the bar or so where you want the transition to happen. Just cut everything out from that. Obviously, I already did stuff here, but you just cut everything out from that. And then you want to take like the first sections of your like melodies and basses, that first bar when it drops back in, take that and copy it back before it, reverse them all, and then go in and just add in, oh, I forgot it's quite small, but you would add in all your fades. It's basically the same thing I did here. You just add in some fades going up, and then grab like a nice like cinematic like boom, like something like this. And then just duplicate that and reverse it for the second half. So it's... And I like to leave that little tail bit at the end there as well. Really simple to do, and a really great tangent and a really great transition that sounds like this. Cut and move sounds like this. Really funky one. So the way you do this is you take like the half bar where you want this to happen or so, and you cut out everything but like your main lead synth in it. And then also play around, play around with like bringing in different sounds at different times. Like you see here, I've got this like percussion loop comes in a little bit earlier, then you've got a kick, and then the bass comes in, just to kind of create that bit more of movement and stuff like that. Then on your lead synth in that bar, you want to automate a high pass filter going from about 600 hertz all the way to open, so it creates a nice... It just slightly comes off because you're not getting that thickness in it, and it makes it nice for transitions. And then also go ahead and automate your panning to go from right to left over each little bit there, and it creates just a nice, really nice stereo spacey kind of, you know, it just gives it a good vibe. And then that's it, and that's cut and move. Tran Flange sounds like this. Cool, like almost like door opening, stretching kind of sound. So what you want to do is where you want the transition to happen, you see I've got these 2 bars here, delete all your drums and just keep like your melodies, and you can add some like risers and stuff like that in it. And then what you want to do is group those all together, and then you want to first of all automate a high pass filter that is going from about 516 hertz to open, so it's just doing a little with a nice bit of a curve. Then what you want to do is you want to drop a flanger onto that track. You want to set it to rate of 2 on the flanger, amount 0, 75% feedback, about 43% wet. And you want to automate, well, I've also automated the flanger to turn on and off during this section here as well. And what you want to do is automate that flanger's time So if we open that up, so you see the device is on, the effect is on during just that transition, a couple of bars there. And then the flanger time is going from all the way to like 0.1 seconds all the way up to 20 milliseconds. And that's what creates that like creaky door opening. And that's it. And then you get Tran Flange. Slow down sounds like this. So what we've done here is we've resampled a section of our song, which is this section here. So we've resampled it to a new track here. And then we're just going to slice that to a new MIDI track at a quarter notes is fine. And then you want to play in like your new kind of like thing. Like for example, I've got this one here. I'm just going to copy this up here. So it's just... And then what we're going to do is pitch that all the way down to minus 12 semitones for minus 1 octave. And then we've just got a nice reverb on it as well. And our reverb is just 2.3 second decay time, about 13.5% wet, just to add a bit of ambience. And then blend it in. And that's it. And now you've got your nice little slow down, resampled effect. Perfect for like outros and stuff like that. One at a time sounds like this. So it's a really cool effect for like transitions and then also just to create really cool kind of like sounds and stuff like that. So the way it's done, just on your master, just pick 4 different effects, and it doesn't matter what effects, you can use the same ones as me. I've just got an overdrive, some reverb, a pitch shifter, and an EQ. And then all you want to do is just want to automate each of them over each measure, over each quarter note, just to, or whatever the BPM of your track is, whatever that works out to be. Just automate them to turn on and off at different times. So you can see the way they're going. So the overdrive turns on, then it turns off, and the reverb turns on, then that turns off, and the pitch shifter turns on, then that turns off, and the EQ turns on. And then you can just create cool stuff like this. Get gated sounds like this. Great for like just really cool stuff, man. So before it just sounds like this. So what you want to do is you want to group all of your like melodies together into one group and then have on a separate track outside the group a nice little vocal chop. So mine is just... Doesn't have to be a vocal chop, can be anything. Anything chopped, and then all you want to do is you want a drop. Let's do it from scratch. You want to drop a gate with side chaining onto that melody group, and then you want to set the side chaining to come from whatever your chop is. So mine's the vocal chop, which is on track 6, and then you just want to adjust the threshold until just audio is playing in this melody group when the vocal chop is playing. Just like that, and now you've created the get gated effect. Foley Fun sounds like this. So that beautiful, nice bird, river, lake chord is actually coming from just a Foley sound that is this. So the way it's done is frequencies relate to notes. So for example, you can see 261 hertz is a C, 523 hertz is a C, 5046 hertz is also a C, and you can see them down here like an F, for example, would be whatever that is there, which is like again 1400 hertz around that. And through this you can create a chord. So here I've got it pitched on the lower end, kind of a more mid end, and then a higher mid end. So it kind of creates this like, oh, let me turn it on. So it's pulling out those resonances. It's creating like a note. And then what you want to do is just, you want to take that into a sampler. So now we've got, and because it's C, it's middle C, it will relate perfectly to our keyboard. Then you just want to add a little bit of a band pass. I've got this going between 200 and 900 hertz. Then you just play in some chords and you get a nice, pretty Foley chord fun. Lead bounce sounds like this. Once again, we bring the dog bark back, and literally to do this, all you want to do is just take a one-shot sample. I just got this dog that you heard. And what you want to do is on the track, you want to add, first of all, let me turn all the effects off. So it's just dog bark. You want to add a delay set to 1 on a 90, so it's a really fast like slap delay. 95% feedback, 50% wet, so it's just forever almost like that. And then you want to add some kind of like this Flux Mini. This is a free plugin. And this is kind of just like, what's it called? Like volume automation, kind of LFO like that. So it makes it go. So it creates a nice bounce to it. Then after that, I'm just turning the delay off because that was gone forever. Adding some OTT at about 60%. And then lastly, an EQ doing a high pass filter at about 190 Hertz. And that's it. Blend it into your song. And you get a cool little lead bounce from a one shot. Oneshot Bonanza sounds like this. There's that nice little one shot here. It's great for adding like little tiny bits of like percussive elements almost in your songs and little bits of like ear candy and stuff like that. So all we have here is just, you want to just take like a little quick one shot. I've just got this quick vocal one that's just... And then you just want to add some saturation. I got this quite a lot. So I think the mix is all the way up. 6 drive, I've got the punish on this plugin, just makes it really like, really aggressive. Then we just add some reverb after that. And I've got the reverb on an 8-second decay at 100% wet. So it's now. And then to tidy it and push it all to the back, we've got a bandpass filter going between 200 and 2.5K Hertz. And then that creates us our nice bit, one shot ear candy. Club toilet sounds like this. You know that sound when you're drunk as fuck in the club bathroom and this is just what the music sounds like. And it's really easy to do. It's just on your master. First of all, a low pass filter around 800 Hertz. Giving it that, you know, bass coming through the bathroom wall style vibe. And then just a reverb, about 3.5-second decay, 38% wet, just to give it a bit more of that ambient kind of feeling. And that's it. And that's how you get the club toilet effect. Low and slow sounds like this. Give that dark, eerie vibe. You've probably heard this on so many songs, so it's really easy to do. So what it is first of all, you want to resample part of your song. Like I just have this bit that's just... that comes from the whole track, or just... Then what you want to do is you want to stretch this out twice. Ableton users put it on complex so it stays nice and soft. And then just add a pitch shifter going down -12 semitones, 100% wet. And now it's low and slow. Owner or one note atmosphere sounds like this. So if you're familiar with my Owner one note atmosphere plugin, it's basically doing very similar to what that is. So just take like a random note, like I've just got this bell that's just... And then what you want to do is you basically want to add a bunch of pitch shifting to it. So the first one I've got here is -12 semitones, down 1 octave, 37% wet. And then we've got -5 semitones, 31% wet. And then we've got -3 semitones, 34% wet. And obviously play around with these because you can just get different vibes. Like that, you see, and you can find the notes, like the notes for the chords and stuff like that to make chords. And then just add some reverb, 18-second decay, 100% wet, so it's nice and big and pad-like. And that is One Note Atmosphere's Owner. Resampled sounds like this. Really, really super fun thing to do. So all you want to do is just on a new track, you just want to resample a part of your song. So I'm just going to take this here. Forgot this like that. Sample here. We'll just do that for now. So now you've got this nice new resampled section. So what you want to do here is fuck it up. You want to just reverse bits, you know, fucking duplicate bits like that. Take this, reverse it. I'm going to pitch this up a bit. Take this. I'm going to duplicate. I'm going to zoom in even more. I'm going to duplicate this like that. And you basically just want to go through the whole thing and just do that. This is a very, very just fun thing to do. I'm just going to, like that. I'll just do just that much for now, just to save the time in the video. And then what you want, so now it sounds like this. So what you want to do now is you now want to cut out parts of each where you want it to happen. So for example, I want it to start with that. So I'm going to cut out that or just deactivate it. And then you have to do the same thing here. And I want it to leave it there. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to have it here as well. Just kind of go like this. I'm going to have that play the whole thing there. Then I'm going to cut that out. So cut that. Wait, gets a bit confusing. Cut that, and then we'll leave just two at the end there like that. So you can see it's going to go back and forth between the two different parts, and then you get cool, trippy, fun shit like this. Oh. Just super fun to just fuck around with. Voice gate is a fun one, so I have this pad here that's just... So if we drop a gate onto that, and we open up the sidechaining, we set up a new audio track. So this 2 audio here is my microphone. Like, you're going to hear me doubled now. What this does is, and then we adjust the threshold of this, sorry. What this does is we can now control the gate with our voice. So let me mute myself in OBS. Now you should hear me, and now my voice is going to control the voice gate like this. Trip sounds like this. So what you want to do is, so the original vocal here sounds like this. So we want to warp it, and then we want to times 2 it twice, consolidate it, and then divide by 2 twice. So we bring it back. I'm going to set this onto, we set it onto beats as well, then reverse it, and now we get this nice trippy trip. Counter melody sounds like this. So what happens here is we're using Ableton to create us a completely new counter melody without basically doing anything. So the original melody sounds like this. So what we want to do is duplicate that. And on this new one, you want to go to, where is it? Recombine, have it on shuffle, and then just press transform. And what happens now is it's moving them around to different parts, so you can hear. And then what I do is you select them all, pitch them up an octave, so it's now. And once again, you can keep pressing transform, and it's just making you completely new, like, counter melodies. Vocal repeat sounds like this.
And if you like to go fast, then you can drive me home. Put your foot on the gas.
Really cool effect, and we're literally just using beat repeat for this. Pretty self-explanatory one. You just want to copy the settings here, like quarter interval, 100% chance, 7/16 gate, grid 1/8, variation 10, 0/0, on mix, up 3 dB, and then you want to adjust the filter to something like this that you can see here, and that's literally all it is.
And if you like to go fast, then you can drive me home.
Drums Gritty basically allows us to take any drum loop and create our own, like, drums from it. So for example, I've got this drum loop here. And I managed to turn it into a completely new thing using the same sounds with this here. So the way you do it is you want to right click it, slice to new MIDI track. I believe we want it set on to, oh yeah, we want it set to transient, and then use the drums gritty preset, press OK. Then we'll go on here, click the original and delete that. And now you have all the drums, so you can create your own new drum pattern. Granulator 3 sounds like this. So basically what you want to do is you want to take like a sample. I've just got this nice pad here. And then drop that into Granulator 3. And then all you want to do is you want to automate, first of all, automate the position. Just every bar or so, just to a different position. To see here, it's there, and there, it's there. This really doesn't matter. You can get super fine with it if you want to get a specific like parts you want to jump between. And then once you've done that, with the same automations happening in the same place, you want to automate the grain size. Now the grain size is in MS. You can online find like MS to BPM conversions. So I think this is oh sorry, on the wrong one. I think that's a 16th note, like so 345 milliseconds is a 16th note at 174 BPM, and that's an 8th note here. Oh, it's a quarter note, 8th notes. Like that, just in the same way, however you want to do it, and then you create this cool, like, trippy, granulated 3 effect. Melody repeater sounds like this. So once again, using the beat repeat here. So before it just sounded like this. So all the settings you want to use here are just, this is once again, it's just, you're just using beat repeats. You can just copy all the settings here, quarter interval, 100% chance, 7/16th gate, 16th note grid, minus 12 semitones the pitch, on mix, volume up 6 dB, well that'll depend on your track. And then the filter set to around here. And that creates you that nice like added layer. Ableton EZ Stuts sounds like this. So it's a really easy way to make stutters in Ableton. All you want to do is you want to come down to this editor, make sure it's warped on beats, and then set the preserve to whatever speed you want. I'm using 1/16. And you want to change it. I think on default it's here. You want to change it to this, and then adjust this transient envelope here. So all the way up, it's not going to do anything. Then as we bring it down, you'll hear it start stuttering. And then we can change the speed. And that's Ableton EZ Stuts. Easy chops sounds like this. And this is all coming from just this vocal here. So what we want to do is we just want to slice this to a new MIDI track. And put it on quarter note. Well, this will depend on your track really. And then we just want to come into here and delete all that. And we want to go over here to, where is it? Over here to seed. And then we turn, I think I have the voices all the way up most of the time. Yep. And then you click generate and it creates you a chop just like that. Keep clicking it to make different ones. And that's Easy Chops. Easy Chops Plus sounds like this. So basically what we're doing is we're adding effects to do Easy Chops in the last trick. So what we're doing first of all is a pitch shifter up 12 semitones, up 1 octave, 50% wet. Some OTT at 64%. An EQ, just doing a bit of a higher pass at 200 Hertz. This is just purely for the specific audio. And a reverb, 4.3 second decay at 40% wet. And then you get a nice mixed in kind of vocal chop. Evolving tremolo sounds like this. Really pretty. So before it sounds like this. So all we're using here is just Ableton's Auto Pan Tremelo on the Tremelo on a mount 100%, synced to a 16th note. This will depend on your track. And then what we're doing, oh, and then also adding in some of this attack as well here. And I think that's all the main things. Yeah, oh yeah, inverted the shape as well, which is this button there, invert the shape. And then all we're doing is we're automating the shape. This is invert shape, so what we're doing is automating the shape right here to make this kind of triangle here. So it's going all the way from 100% up to minus 100% to 100%. So what that's doing is you can see down here, it's the shape changes like that. And that's what creates this really cool, like, shape changing, evolving tremolo effect. That's this. Ping pong ball sounds like this. So all we want to do is just grab a one-shot sample and put it into Ableton's, what's actually this plugin called? Oh, drum sampler. And then what you want to do is you want to set the attack to about 750 milliseconds, decay to 1 second. You want to set the mode to gate and the effects to loop. And then, you know, you've got some other stuff here you can play around with as well. Then what we want to do is we want to open up our automation, and we want to first of all automate the filter frequency, which is this one here, to go from about 250 hertz all the way to open at 22k hertz to create that kind of opening up that we hear. And then the length of the loop effect, we want to have that start at 10 milliseconds up 365 milliseconds. And that's what creates that like almost like a stutter thing. And then we just want to add a reverb, about 8-second decay, 30% wet, and we get the whole effect. And then what I've done on this side as well is I've just inverted all of the automations. So I'm looking at the books I say, so I forgot to say, obviously, add in your middle C note as well. Sample offset sounds like this. Really cool effect. So here's the original vocal here. It's just.
Ooh, when you smile, I feel your vibe. It gets me good, baby.
So what you want to do is you want to come down to your audio editor and you want to first of all fuck around with the sample offset. So you just want to kind of make these little adjustments like this. This is one of those things you'll have to listen to whilst you're doing it to hear really what it's doing and to find something that you think sounds good. Like,
ooh, when you feel your vibe.
It's basically like moving it back or looking forward and replacing stuff. And then what you want to do is you want to also, once you've gone through and done all that, you want to edit the transposition. And I like to edit this to go down like -5 semitones, just like every now and then, but you can just do what you want. So it's like,
ooh, when you feel your vibe, it gets.
Just like that. It's a little bit weird there because of sample offset, but when you have a full done one that you've listened through carefully, I'm not going to waste your time with doing that in this video. And I'm also on number 100 of all these effects, and I've sat here and done this over 2 days. So this is what this one's sample offset looks like. And then the transposition looks like this. And once you've done that, you get this cool little effect that sounds just like this.